long as you're anti-Palestinian, they'll be fine with you, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know. Watch what's going on. There's a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. I don't want to talk
I
about right
just I
now.
just stay out of it. I just watch the news
You
and
know
go,
what?
okay.
That's the best bet. At this point in my life, in my 20s, I really got involved in the
Yeah.
politics and the arguing and the debating. And
Yeah.
I just realized now at my age, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it.
No, I just like as long as I'm okay.
It's more, it just, it tears into your sanity more than anything.
It does too, because you're like, oh my god, how about we try this? And people don't want to try it. It's like,
Here's the
I'm just
thing.
gonna
Nobody is going to change their mind when you're coming at them. They're just not. They're not
no,
going to,
yeah.
and you go into these debates. I think you kind of know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, okay, well, let's give each other hell. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, my God, I put just
Yeah,
had
because
so
you're
much
gonna go,
stress.
yeah, unless you're going in with an open mind,
And
you're
most people don't.
no one's not. No,
No.
unless you're like you see it in, like in academia, like in science, because you could point out facts. Like here, look, this test said
All
this.
right.
Anything else, you're
If you're
like
arguing,
there's studies that have shown like you can point people like you prove people wrong, and they're just going to double down,
yes,
and they're going
exactly.
to double down even more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like I said, in a smarter situation,
yeah.
perhaps, but if these are people just on the internet or
The
at
internet,
work
no,
or
God, no.
you're gonna be ready to beat their
Oh,
face in by the time the conversation's over.
because I'm the biggest hypocrite when it comes to it because I'll be proven wrong. I know I'm wrong. I want to
Mhm.
admit it, but I'm
And then I
so
take a
deep
low
into it.
blow
I'm
to get me
so
back
deep
into the
into it.
fight.
I
You did-
double down. I'll be so deep into it. I'll double down, and I
or,
know I'm wrong,
or
but
you
I'm
just
just
start
continuing.
or you just start getting nasty because you're wrong, and it's like, okay, the only
Uh-huh.
way I could win this is
Yeah,
if I
being an ass.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's why I don't.
I know.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers. No, this isn't Hannity and Combs. This
Oh
is the
God.
Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody. Hey, at least if we were Hannity and Combs, you're Combs. That guy looks like a fucking corpse. I don't even know if he's still alive.
I don't know. Like, is Hannity still alive?
Hannity's still got a show.
Oh God.
Yeah, I just seen
Oh
him the other
God.
day. I was flipping through the channels like, wow, he's still on TV. I thought they fired all them guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know about you, but this Monday Night Football game, it really was it was fun in a way because again, just as a football fan, just as a fan of the NFL
Mhm.
in general. Now you have this 49er team, like they were just a juggernaut. I'm talking about a
Yeah.
juggernaut through the first 4 games of the season, 5 games of the season. Then they dropped one to the Browns last week.
Their idiot kicker should have won that game.
Yeah, this kicker, huh? And then they go and they end out facing Minnesota last night.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings win.
Yeah.
So now,
where was this Vikings team all year?
This Vikings team couldn't beat anybody. There were 2-4 coming into this game. They really had a hard time with every game they played. So, well, I got to tell you, I'm watching this 49ers, and this team is not playing the same way they played in week 1. I could tell you that. They was not playing the way that they played in week 2. I could tell you that. Mm-hmm. And so on. McCaffrey, I think part of what the problem is, they're running this guy to death. Yeah. He was, at one point, Mike, there were 44 plays into the game offensively, and they were like, Christian McCaffrey hasn't been out one single play yet. He's been in every single play on offense and up to 44 plays. And that was to that point. It could have went further and further. They just, it does not look like this. They look tired. They look like they went out and gave 100% for about 4 or 5 weeks. And now they're
and it caught up to them.
That's what it looks like.
Like they shot their load early.
Yes.
And
you can't take nothing away. You can't take nothing away from Jordan Addison and the Vikings. Jordan Addison had 7 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. This kid was on fire. Again, this was a fun game.
Yeah, it was a fun game. And that touchdown that he had where he ripped the interception away from the defender and just kept going.
Yeah. He's a beast, dude.
He's a really good player. He had that great run, that great year where him and Kenny, were unstoppable that year. Then he goes off to USC and like, you think, okay, he's going to USC, he's going to explode out there because they have some really good wide receivers have come through there. He wasn't as productive. Then he comes to Minnesota. It took him a while to get going, but my God, he's picked it up the past couple of weeks.
Like he's gonna be amazing. Like I said, you recognize that about these kids in college. Some of these kids you just know.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Here they are, 5-2. Here the Steelers are, 4-2. Who would have thunk? Third of the way through the season, this is where we would be sitting.
Yeah.
Mike, it's unbelievable. I love the NFL. This is one of the many reasons that I love the NFL.
It's so unpredictable because no one thought that, this Minnesota team would be this bad. And then you lose Justin Jefferson. And you're rattling off some wins now. Like, what you think they would implode after that? It's like they're rallying around Kirk Cousins and the injury to Jefferson, rallying or using that as a rallying cry. Like, hey, people, we keep hearing rumors that we should just tank on the season, trade our quarterback. We lost Jefferson, might as well just tank. And they're like, no, man, they're using that as a rallying cry to make that team better. And they have pretty good defense. They have some good players like Daniel Hunter, however you want to pronounce his name.
I think it's Danielle.
Daniel. I will call him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He's a mountain of a man, and
they said it the other day on
his
TV.
Wrong side.
They said it the other day on TV, and I can't remember what the hell it was. It wasn't Daniel. It wasn't Danielle, but it was like, I don't know. It was pronounced differently.
Yeah. But however he wants to pronounce it, I will pronounce it for him. Like I said, he's a mountain of a man. They have some good players, but the win last night doesn't shock me. Like Bosa said about the Niners, he's like, the NFL humbles you. You get these stretches where nothing goes right. For 17 games or like 15 games, their quarterback, he played lights out. Now he's had 2 games to where you're like, okay,
he's human.
This guy, he's finally human.
Listen, he threw 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter of this game. And I candidly sent you this text because again, the guy went undefeated last year as a rookie. The only game he lost was, he didn't lose. He got injured and had to take the rest of the year off. This year he started off 5-0. Listen, that was tongue in cheek. This kid, he's good. Things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. Yeah. And you know what? This is Tuesday, and after Victory Tuesday, Mike, I have a plethora of numbers, statistics, interesting ins, outs, everything like that about the game of football, about our Pittsburgh Steelers. Today is going to be all about numbers, Mike. Before I do get there, I do want to say this: Terrell Edmonds is on his way to Tennessee.
I saw that. It was like everyone's been talking about, because we talked about it before, like when he left, like a lot of Steeler fans slept on it. They said he was a bum, he's terrible, but we talked about that connection that him and Minka had.
Right.
The way Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu had. And we're seeing that right now. It's hard for these other safeties to figure out how to play with Minka. And he was a trade target. People were talking about, hey, Pittsburgh should look into bringing him back. And he's on the move.
One name that I keep seeing pop up, and this is just out of the blue, is this Patrick Surtain. Again, this morning I wake up and I say, please on these tweets, please make this happen by the trade deadline. I don't know if it's a possibility. I don't know where that even stands. But you know what, boy, would that make our defensive backfield a little bit better, especially the Patrick Peterson that we got is only a shell of the Patrick Peterson that we've been watching for the past dozen years, huh?
Yeah, he's not what he once was. I think he would still be effective going to safety.
Yeah.
Play, the way, like, just put him
if we
back.
Had another cornerback whose quality, Patrick Peterson wouldn't be as needed.
Yeah,
I think he would be more effective if he wasn't as needed.
And then you would have Levi Wallace would have less reps. I think he's better in limited time, to where we're seeing like Porter Jr. He is looking like a legit shutdown corner.
I got plenty about him coming up, man. Don't you?
Yeah,
worry
I know. Yeah,
that.
so that's like if they could somehow, like I was hoping they would. When I saw it, I think it was like Christopher Carter. He broached that subject on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, I didn't even piss that I didn't think of it, because we talked about what a loss Edmonds was. I would have loved to see them get the trade, but you know what? Still kick the tires with Tennessee. Call them. Say, hey, you guys look to be, stockpiling draft picks. What would you want? What would you want? Oh, if the Broncos want 2 first-rounders for Tain, no, I'm not doing that either.
You know what?
No, that Steelers freak popped in with that. Yeah, I'm not giving up 2 first-rounders.
2 first-rounders. That's
for someone you don't know if you'll be able to sign long-term. Yeah.
Mike, Also around the NFL, I got this. The Houston Oilers are going to be back. Oh, did I say Houston Oilers? The Tennessee Titans this weekend will be wearing the old Houston Oilers uniforms. Yes, against the Atlanta Falcons. If you love the old Houston Oilers uniforms, they will be on your television running around next week against the Falcons. I for one like the Oilers uniforms. I for one will enjoy this game. I like the throwbacks when they're good. They had the heather green
Kelly Green
forms in Philadelphia this weekend. I thought that was cool. Do I want to see it week in, week out? No, but you know what? Being through that era, I like to see it.
I like those uniforms too. They're not the prettiest, the Oilers jerseys, but I like them. You know, like you said, it's a throwback to that time and era. Like we grew up with them.
That's time when you were shitting yourself, Mike.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I had some bad Thai food, and
Here we go. Are you ready for numbers, baby? It's Numbers Tuesday.
If you know me, I am great with numbers.
This is what I live for. I live for this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not only 4-2 this season, they are 11-4 over their last 15 games. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said that, are 11-4 over their last 15 games. Hey, Ralph on the board. I do know that Ralph and a couple other people that I know mentioned that this team is lucky. They seem to be luckier than they are good. I don't totally disagree with you. But one thing that I do not understand is how this team is 11-4 over the last 15 games. This team finds a way. This team is scrappy. This team will get into it with you. This team will punch you in the mouth. This is the AFC North, guys. Get used to it. 11-4 over the last 15 games. If anybody could explain that to me. And again, these next 3-4 games are totally winnable games. Are they going to win them all? I don't know. But you know what? 11-4 in the last 15 games.
How?
Make it make sense, Mike.
It's really what it is we're playing defense we're playing defense. Really, that's what it is. We're just playing enough to where our defense will bail us out, hold the opposing teams to a few points, and hey, offense, go out there, score 17 points, score 21 points if you're lucky, and then we're just gonna have the defense shut them down. Yeah, that's really our philosophy. The way it's been is just keep it close, let the defense dominate and offense do what they can.
Staying true to my peeps on the board. Yes, it is better to be lucky to be good, Ralph. I do agree, and everybody check out his show, Sports Corner with Ralph Williams, every Tuesday from 5 to 6 on WBVP, Beaver Counter Radio, 1230. Check it out, everybody, 99.3. Great stuff over there. That is today from 5 to 6. Also, Steelers freak Ryan loves going back in time when women were beautiful. Absolutely. apparently outside of the area where I live, they have attractive women still. I grew up, there was attractive women everywhere. I swear to you, I walk out of this house and everybody's ugly. Nobody is. Even when you get on Facebook, when you get your people you may know, you kind of go through them to see who the pretty girls. I don't even get pretty girls in that list anymore. It literally, to me, in my life, seems like pretty girls do not exist. But Steeler Freak has been getting on me to come out to Vegas. Maybe we'll just hit the strip one night and we'll go out and do what they do in Vegas. We won't talk about it, but
you record this for me. I need to.
No, it stays in Vegas, bitch. What happens in Vegas, right?
I need to see it.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. But yeah, it's a nice thought.
It is a nice thought. I would love to see it.
I'm like a remote control. Like once I get out of a certain area, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I only have so much. I only have so much range.
This is true. You wouldn't know what to do in Vegas.
I wouldn't know what to do in Vegas. Also, you want to talk about this Steeler team? You want to talk about how things are just so bizarre?
I do.
Let me find this one for you. Let's see. The Steelers are 4-2, but have not had more. Brace yourself, everybody. They have not had more plays from scrimmage, total yards, or first downs than any of their opponents yet this season. Let me say that one more time, just in case the people in the back did not hear me. Mike, these 4-2 Steelers, they are 4-2, but they have not had any. They have not had more plays from scrimmage, more total yards, more first downs than any of their opponents this year. Win, lose, draw, whatever it was. the Steeler team, that they're an enigma. I can't explain what's going on. Again, Mike, 11-4 over the last 15 games. They haven't had more plays from scrimmage, more total yards, more first downs than anybody they faced this year. Again, on another level. Can you please try to make this make sense, Mike? Please.
The only number that matters is the scoreboard, where, really,
apparently we're good at that. I don't.
We're good at that. That's all that matters. All that other stuff, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to look at. It's nice to say, hey, we have, the number one scoring defense. We have the number one offense giving, for yardage. The only thing that matters is the points at the end of the game. And that's what we're winning on right now. I'll take that over. I'll take winning ugly over all these pretty stats. I want the pretty stats because it's fun to watch, less stressful. But we're finding ways to win. It's not sustainable, but for right now, it's working for the Steelers.
11-4 over the last 15 games.
Despite
everything that everybody says, it doesn't add up. It does not add up. Like we're a win away from being in first place. I mean, realistically, we're in the fifth spot. Please continue. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's going to piggyback on what you're saying. We're a win away from the fifth spot, but we're also 3 drop passes from the Ravens from another loss and 2 missed field goals by the Rams from another loss. So it can swing either way with the Steelers, but we're doing just enough to win. We're winning ugly, and when you're a mid-tier team, that's what you have to do. We've been, like you said, for the past 15 games, this is our style. This is the Steelers' identity. Doing just enough on offense, keep it close in the fourth quarter, and hopefully, Kenny can work some magic or the defense takes it.
Let me continue. It just gets more bizarre.
You made me praise Kenny Pickett. Can we take a moment of silence?
The AFC North is the best division in the NFL. No, this isn't an opinion. No, this isn't somebody telling me this online. This is factual. The AFC North is the best division in the NFL. No teams, Mike, not one of them have a losing record in the AFC North. Nobody else can say that around the league. Also, 9 combined losses in the AFC North. Nobody is within a couple of games. The next division, Mike, is the NFC East. The NFC East with the Cowboys in them. They have 12 losses overall in that division. We're ahead of that division by 3. Also, 3 of the 4 teams' strength of victory and strength of schedule over 500, according to the NFL media statistics. No other division matches that. Mike, in a bizarro world, this division is playing really. They're playing out of their mind at this time. But you know what? When it comes time to the playoffs, guess who's going to be the first 3 teams knocked out of the playoffs come bracket time?
All 3 AFC North teams.
You know it. They just
it's the way it's going to be. It's because we're going to beat the shit out of each other along the way to get there.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. Because one of these teams is going to have to fall off. What's Cleveland going to do with their quarterback situation? Deshaun Watson getting hurt, and then their backup situation.
At what point does Cincinnati start playing good again? I mean, this team, they haven't played realistically. They're 3-3, but they haven't played good football all year.
No.
What if this team starts? What if they get a hot streak and win 6-7 in a row?
And is Lamar going to stay healthy?
That's a big question.
That's
we'll find out
there. The past
second
2
time
seasons,
around when they play us, we'll find that out.
The past 2 seasons, he's been banged up, but if he can stay healthy, that's the team I'm worried about. Even though, we find a way to beat Lamar, but if they stay healthy, he comes into that second game healthy and on a roll, are we going to be able to stop him this time around? But this division, man, I think we said it even before in the offseason, it has the chance to be one of the better divisions, or at least most competitive divisions.
Let me continue.
Please do.
The Pittsburgh Steelers hasn't accumulated 400 yards in a football game for 53 games. 53 games, okay? This is pretty bad. I think we could all agree on this. Let's take a look who number 2 and number 3 is. Oh, okay. New England and Green Bay with 12. Mike, they haven't had 400-yard games in a dozen games. The Steelers haven't had a 400 game in 53. That's 3.5 seasons. Yet here's the Pittsburgh Steelers, 11-4 of the last 15 games. I know I sound like a broken record with that number, but this number, I can't believe it. The number is amazing. 11-4 of their last 15 games, Mike. But again, It's a result of what we were saying. This is the team that you've seen last year. You don't know what you're going to get with these Steelers. Every game is going to be a heart attack. You're going to be, drinking heavily by the time Steeler games are over. This team it's crazy. If you like the Steelers, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you dislike the Steelers, who knows? It might be a lot of fun. But as of this point, this football team, this quarterback, these guys are finding a way to win football games, and I'll take it. One more thing on this note, Mike. That's the 5th straight win over the Rams by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and being that Kenny won 2 games out on the Pacific time frame, that's already more than Ben Roethlisberger in his entire Hall of Fame career, who had one win out there. So again, if anybody has any insight on any of this making sense,
none of it makes sense whatsoever. None.
I love it. I don't get it.
But like the Steeler offense, man, what we saw, Sunday is the offense that we saw those last 11 the last handful of games last year after the bye. Mike, the way they were able to run the ball effectively, get some nice passes. Passing game wasn't the greatest, but
they were literally saying that his play, Kenny Pickett's play is so bad in the first 3 quarters of games, but he's comparable to Patrick Mahomes in the 4th quarter of games.
Why can't he do that the first 3 quarters of the game?
Just throw the playbook out and run a 4-minute game all game. Let this, maybe.
What I heard on the radio is like they were saying, you'll like this theory because maybe I heard it wrong. It was like Matt Canada's offense, people are like, oh, it's so basic. It's so easy to prepare for, to play against. But yet at the same time, Kenny Pickett, in the first 3 quarters, that he's thinking too much in this offense.
I've always said,
how can you
don't make Kenny think
much in a base? How can you make him think in a base offense? Basic offense.
They're making him overthink is the problem.
Yeah, like it's like he gets in his way. Well, here's what I propose. We make a trade with San Francisco. We give them a 5th-round pick. They give us Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy plays the first 3 quarters. Kenny comes in and closes it out.
I'm not sure Brock Purdy has the fortitude, I guess, to play on a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? He's kind of had it a silver plate handed to him with his. Don't get me wrong, his team in San Francisco is amazing. And I don't know.
I tell you what, though,
Brock has it in him to play for a team like Pittsburgh.
He won't roll out into sacks like Kenny does.
We hope not.
It's on your back. He won't roll into sacks like Kenny does. But I'm telling you, Steeler fans would say, "Oh, Brock Purdy can't win it in the 4th quarter. Kenny can't play in the first 3 quarters."
Yeah.
Give us both, okay?
And beat as it may, both of these teams have 2 losses this year. I can't.
It's insane. It's insane.
Mike, Mike Tomlin is 13-4 after buys in his career. He has, I think he has 7 in a row now. It's either 6 or 7 in a row.
6 or 7 in a row.
I mean, again,
his record in like 1-score games is incredible as well.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to steal your thunder. If you have that stat ready available,
no, I didn't. No, thank you for that.
Yeah, I heard it. I don't remember the numbers because me and numbers don't play well together. But yeah, and Mike Tomlin, 1-score games, he has a really good record. So this is the way this team is played now. It's their identity. Keep it close, keep it tight.
Absolutely. It's like, as we were saying, Mike, you're going to see all these weird happenings with this team. It's going to be weird records, and again, we lived this before. We lived through the 90s, we lived through the 80s, and that's what happens when you have a team like this. You have, you just have all this bizarre stuff that happens, and that's what's happening to us right now. Let's see what else we got. Pickett's wins on the West Coast. Okay, here's where I want to go, Mike. The AFC playoff picture at this time. If the playoffs started today, and they don't, but if they did, this is going to be your AFC playoff picture, people. This is going to be what it looks like. Number 1 right now is the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. Number 2 is the Miami Dolphins. Number 3 is the Ravens. Number 4 is Jacksonville. That is your 4 division-winning teams if the season ended right now. In 5, 6, and 7, which are your wild card teams, Pittsburgh, number 5, Cleveland, number 6, and Buffalo barely squeaking into the playoffs with the number 7 spot. At this point in the tenure, we would end up playing. Let's see. I think we would be playing Jacksonville. I believe.
Oh God,
I don't. Jacksonville.
I hate playing Jacksonville.
I do too, especially.
I think we have. I think we have like one win advantage against them.
Oh, do we really? I'm surprised it's even that.
It's either like one. It's one of the. It's either or. I know Tomlin has a winning record against them, but it's a very tight series between the two franchises.
Gunnar Olszewski gets signed to the Giants practice squad.
Oh, don't worry. He'll be out there returning kicks for touchdowns again within no time.
I want to say, you know what? I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest.
It would be fun if that happens.
I don't recall seeing a single kick return for a touchdown this year, and I probably missed some. But in all honesty,
they don't happen that much anymore.
You just don't have
these new rules. No, you more or less you're erasing people like Devin Hester from the NFL history.
And you know what? That's okay because they don't have room for guys like Devin Hester in the Hall of Fame.
He should be
exactly
him. Don Beebe, more kickers and punters should be in. If you want to argue like, oh my God, it's such an important part of the game, but you know what? It's important. We'll shit on these guys. They mess up once, but nah.
Who was the guy for the Chiefs years? Hall, Dante Hall.
Oh God, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was an amazing one, but like I said, there's no spots in the Hall of Fame for that. But as you mentioned, I think that more kickers. I think that more, Steeler freak Blake Bortles flashbacks. God,
I see that every time I see Kenny play.
I don't even want to think about it. But I believe special teams players deserve to be recognized more in the Hall of Fame. Kickers, especially, they win so many games for teams. They lose so many games for teams. These things should be put into consideration. Returners, guys like Devin Hester, guys like Dante Hall, guys like this, they should be in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
I tell you, oh my God, his name just went up my head. The Ravens kicker. He's going to put
Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's something wrong with the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He is the greatest kicker of all time.
No two ways about it, man. The Andersons, I don't know who's in. I don't think Gary Anderson's in the Hall of Fame, is he?
No, I don't think Gary Anderson
is the all-time leading Steeler scorer. All time. Nobody scored more points than Gary Anderson. And this guy's not in the Hall of Fame.
And he hasn't played in the team since the 80s or late 90s.
Yeah.
Morton Anderson made the Hall of Fame in 2017.
Yeah, I thought Morton Anderson was in. Adam Vinatieri.
I couldn't remember.
Vinatieri's another one that should be in if he's not.
Yep. Yeah. I think Vanderjagt should be in the Steelers Hall of Fame for the way he choked away that playoff game.
Vanderjagt was a bad dude, man. He gets a bad rap.
Our look it up, idiot kicker. I love when Peyton Manning called him that.
That and the guy from L.A. What was his name? The
Sebastian Janikowski.
Janikowski. This kid was a Hall of Fame.
He was a beast. He was a first-round draft pick.
I think he was like a top 5 pick, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Look it up real quick. See what number he was drafted in that draft. I think he was high. We'll start heading toward another direction as soon as you do that. Also, I did want to say this: if you complain, people, when you go to Acrisure Stadium about the parking up on the North Shore, to park your vehicle when you get ready to go to watch the Steelers, don't cry anymore, because this, Mike, I saw on Twitter yesterday. Somebody had a receipt for their parking for SoFi Stadium. $125 to park your vehicle.
Price gouging at its finest
in Hollywood to watch this Rams team play football. I got to tell you, if I had to pay $125 to go watch the Rams on a weekly basis, it wouldn't happen.
No,
that's just the park.
That's why there's that stadium gets taken over. Janikowski was the 17th overall draft pick.
Still, that's a high pick. 17.
1,913 points scored in his career.
Wow.
You know what? That's not bad for a first round pick.
Yeah. More than a lot of other first round picks.
Hell yeah. Let me do some quick math here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I'm actually pulling up the calculator.
While you do that, I'm going to take a moment to look over some things on the board here.
That's 318 touchdowns. 318 touchdowns in his. That's what that converts to. How many first round picks outside of quarterbacks have 300? How many first round quarterbacks have 318 touchdowns?
Exactly.
I'm looking that up.
All right, there you go, Derpy. Let's see, Derpy. Yeah, I don't know, Mike. I had issues this morning getting Derpy set in, so I don't know that there's no issue with Derpy. I just had an issue getting him in today on the
I was hoping there was an issue. So what did I say? Sebastian Janikowski, his point total equals 318 touchdowns. That would put him 14th all time between Russell Wilson and John Elway.
Yeah.
For points scored. He would be above like Hall of Famers like Elway, Warren Moon, Johnny Unitas, Montana, Dan Fouts, Jim Kelly. Yeah.
P. Morton says Steelers have an angel on the gridiron. They sure do, P. And I take it back to 1972 with the Immaculate Reception. They really do have the football gods are on the Steelers side. They really are. I say this all the time. People think I'm crazy, and I might be.
You are crazy.
But the football gods are on the Steelers side. Why do you think, P, anytime anybody desecrates the terrible towel, when they shine their shoes with it, when they whatever, that team goes on. It's not even a bad game. That team goes for years, Mike. Seasons go by before good things start happening again to people when they mess with the terrible towel.
You don't fuck with the terrible towel.
You
don't. And P, I don't think it's an angel, man. I think it's those pigeons, man.
Yeah.
Remember the Heinz Field pigeons? They haven't been back since it's been AccuSure. I think they left some good juju there.
We could have used those pigeons in week 1. I could tell you that.
Hell yeah, we could have.
Let's see.
When the legend of Brock Purdy grew.
Lamar's pass numbers are very good this year. That is concerning. I think
that is concerning.
My theory is that they're saved. Blake Bortles.
Justin Tucker, an opera singer. I didn't know that. He's like a fucking Renaissance man. Ain't nothing he can't do.
Yeah, man. A lot of crazy stuff. So
318 touchdowns, Sebastian Janikowski. I'm just throwing that out there.
I hope he's getting neutered. Oh, sorry.
On the neutered?
Steeler Freak said his Derpy at the vet get neutered today. He should not be reproducing. I can tell you this. Yes, hopefully he's getting neutered. Steelers Freak, and the world will be a better place.
I think Derpy has a hot date. He's just not telling us.
Yeah, maybe.
He found the hot chick that you've been talking about, lamenting about.
Somewhere on this list, I think Steelers Freaks that I live in. My zip post is called Uglyville or something.
Yeah, hold on. Where is it? Scroll. Ryan's zip code is listed as Uglyville.
I wish we could have this list on the board as we talk. I wonder if that's possible to have our board on the screen, but I don't know.
I don't know how to do it through Zoom, through YouTube. I'm old. Okay, I'm older Gen X. I don't know how to use computers that way.
Let's talk some TJ Watt. TJ Watt, the Steelers are 63, 28-2 with TJ Watt in the lineup.
Ooh.
They're 1-10 with TJ not in the lineup, which this number kind of baffles me because that means he's only missed 11 games in 7 years.
But it feels like more.
That's how good he must be then. He's only missed 11 games in 7 seasons. That sounds crazy.
That does sound crazy.
But so let me talk a little bit more about what in coverage on Sunday. He had 2 snaps in coverage, 1 interception, a 0.0 passer rating allowed, and a 92.9 coverage grade. Mike, TJ Watt.
Put him at corner.
Yeah, man.
You know what? People keep saying we need a CB2. Guess what? Him and JPZ Jr. out on the corner. You know,
Peasy Island. I'm coining him the name Peasy Island today. It's going to come. It's going to eventually be here, and everyone's going to say it when he gets recognized and he gets a little bit more advanced, and people start talking about him. He's going to be Peasy Island. So we're going to start calling him that right here, right now.
Is Peasy Island? Is Peasy Island sounds like it's right next to Jeff or that
Epstein Island.
Epstein Island. Yeah, we might want to where R. Kelly's hanging there just peeing on people.
I'm going to take my kids to Peasy Island, man. TJ Watt beast. Listen to this, guys. And the other reason I'm really highlighting these TJ Watt numbers is because yesterday I was talking a little bit about some debate I've seen online of he's just not that good. This is what I'm saying. He's just not that good. TJ Watt is one of 2 players all time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that a little slower. He is one of 2 players all time. Let me continue. He's one of two players of all time to have at least 7 interceptions and 70 sacks in his first 7 seasons of his career. And for anybody who doesn't think that TJ Watt is possibly one of the best players ever, the only other guy that's ever done these numbers in the history of the game is Lawrence Taylor. And so you have to be telling me that Lawrence Taylor is no good if you're going to tell me that the TJ Watt is overrated and is not possibly one of the best defensive players in this league.
Either
Lawrence Taylor, Mike.
Either Lawrence Taylor really wasn't that good, or TJ Watt's on some really good cocaine and not letting anyone know.
Yeah.
Because Lawrence Taylor was coked out of his mind putting up those numbers, and Watt's doing it all natural. So Watt might actually be better than Lawrence Taylor right now. But yeah, I saw that too today. I'm like, that is impressive. And if you're a fan of football and that doesn't raise an eyebrow of like, oh shit, this guy is on a career arc that, is Hall of Fame bound, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just, a Browns fan and don't want to recognize that TJ Watt is a legit Hall of Famer. And his sacks affect the game more than, pass rush win rate.
Yeah. I also, I'm trying to find where I have it here. Here it is. So far at this point in the season, again.
Exactly, Steelers freak.
If TJ Porter, I'm reading one thing, I'm reading another thing, I'm putting it all together.
Oh, your brain is fried.
Yeah, I really need this. I really need this board on our screen where I'm looking at it constantly.
Yeah, because it's going so well right now.
TJ Watt at this moment is, let's see, I lost it again. This is where you usually fill in and
leading the league in sacks.
And say something witty until I find it. Fuck.
Oh, I'm not your monkey. You're
a monkey. You're my monkey. Goes,
chink with the cymbals. I see how it is.
You're Chim Chim.
This is where we need Derpy to just come in and go dirt.
Here it is. I found it. Now, let me talk before I lose it again.
Derpy.
Watt's odds for defensive player of the year are plus 230. Myles Garrett plus 220. Micah Parsons plus 220. So there you have it.
Put your money down on TJ Watt now. I don't know. I think there's a campaign to get Myles Garrett this year.
I know he had a good game.
Their defensive player of the year. Yeah, damn good game.
You got to make him defensive player of the year. He had that good game. You know what? His good game matched about 4 of TJ's games this year.
Yeah, it feels like there's an orchestrated campaign to make him defensive player of the year.
It really does.
Stupid mustache.
I hate his mustache. His mustache in 2023 reminds me of Clyde Drexler's hairline in 1992. Yeah. That's the only thing that I can compare it to. I really feel like he's a 70s porn star with that mustache.
That's what.
What else?
Oh God.
Mason Cole again. Numbers Tuesday, baby. I'm bringing the numbers today.
The computer antichrist.
I don't know what that means, but that's good, man. I like it.
Oh shit, Paul.
Mason Cole, Mike, 28 pass blocking snaps. No pressures allowed. Ooh. No sacks allowed. Mason Cole.
That's impressive. Considering, who he had to help block.
Considering we could have kept Kendrick Green and Kevin Dotson,
Oh, Kevin Dotson got bullied that game.
He did get bullied. But before that game, he was the best lineman in the league, they were saying.
He was the best lineman in the league, and he got bullied.
Which I think was an insane.
Keanu Benton just bent him over, made him a bitch that game. Ooh.
Yeah.
But Mason Cole, hey, well done, Mason Cole. He had a nice rebound game. Like, everyone that, the fans have maligned the first half of the season, they all contributed well. Mason Cole, Kenny Pickett, Matt Canada, Najee Harris all showed up.
Yeah, I agree. Let me read you the rookie snaps for this past weekend, Mike. Rookie snaps. Broderick Jones, he had 0. Broderick Jones played 0 snaps.
It might continue the way Dan Moore played. Pass block, run blocking.
Joey Porter Jr. leads the rookies 53 snaps, which I think that's where we should be with him right now.
That was what I read. It was 78% of the defensive snaps. So it's not like
Keanu Benton, 19. He played 19 snaps.
I want to see that number higher, just, rotating in the defensive lineman.
Darnell Washington, 31 snaps. He must be doing a lot of blocking because he did not have
doing something because he's not showing up on the stat line. But hey, if he's being the blocking guy, I'll take that.
Nick Herbig, 12 snaps.
Made the most of it, man.
I like him a lot. And finally, Spencer Anderson, the offensive lineman, zero snaps for Spencer.
I think he was deactivated too.
Was he?
Poor Spence. But no, my God, Dan Moore.
So let me ask you. I was
watching some video, man, of him run blocking. They were using him. He was pulling him inside on some of those run plays. That was impressive.
Let me ask you, Mike, is this a good football team? Can you, with everything so far that I said, I got more, believe me, I got numbers coming out of my ass here. With everything I've said today, it's hard to argue that this isn't a good football team.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bad football being played around the NFL right now. So, we're not a good team. We're not a bad team. We're
11-4 in 15 games.
Like, we do certain things well.
That's what the Steelers, when I was growing up, 11-5 was what you shot for. If you were 11-5, you made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's what a good team did.
And that's what we are over these last couple of games. And I know the numbers, some of the numbers say, no, we're not a good team. Other numbers say, yeah, we are a really good team.
You know what? Steeler Free just made a hell of a point.
That is a point. If they can get their shit together.
Before he literally wrote this, he read my mind.
Yeah.
He read the mind of the computer antichrist. And this is what he said. This is what he found. It said, if they can pull these wins under the current circumstances, imagine what they could do if they got their shit together. I mean, legit. That's what we say all off season long. They have a nice little team. It isn't like there's many things that we're missing. They just got to somehow figure out how to pull it together and play good football.
And we saw, like, the end of last year, that offensive line gel down the stretch. And, we were rolling off 140 yards rushing per game. Look at the way that line played this week. Does that not remind you of the way they were playing down the stretch? There weren't a lot of pressures. There were holes there. Guys were getting to the second level, third level blocking. They seemed inspired off the ball. So lines coming back together. Kenny, he was a little nervous to start the game. He still did that, that stupid roll to the left into pressure. Didn't pick up a corner blitz, but he settled down as the game went on. That's what we saw at the end of last year. Deontay was getting open with his nasty route running. Pickens was making those tough catches, those circus catches. The defense, they couldn't stop the run the first half of the game. They settled down. They were able to shut down the run game. They've made adjustments to shut down Puka. They brought in Porter. Minka was all over the place. So they're slowly getting their shit together. And
let me ask you this,
see if
Mike.
they can have a great second half. It's
en route of pulling their shit together.
That's gonna be
how much do you have to go to the wide receiver room and talk to these guys and say, listen, we had bad personal foul calls. We had bad blocks downfield that brought big plays back. We had noticed that the players weren't rushing back in the past few weeks of the line and situations. How much of this can be improved by just disciplining, tightening up that wide receiver room just a hair, so these plays don't come into affect the game when it comes down to it? Because when you play a good team, these are going to be the places that cost you.
Yeah, I like their passion, their fire.
Yeah,
but they tamp it down. Like Tomlin said, you want to say "whoa" instead of "let's go."
Right.
So they just bring it down and just calm it down a little. And we've seen, look how well he kept Antonio Brown together for his entire career.
How did he do this?
That's what I don't know.
I believe that my theory is Antonio Brown wasn't as bad until how life goes on and things build up. He couldn't have been as bad his whole way through his career because he can't stay out of the limelight. He can't stay out of the media's eye when, there was nothing. That was
like the knock of him in college was he was a
I didn't see it in his first 9 years.
They kept.
How do you how
they tamped it down?
How?
The hits do take effect to it.
This?
But he just kept year after year. The more popular he became, he had that whole obsession. I need my 5 catches for 50 yards. I got this stupid record going on that no one cares about but me.
You can't go more than 3 sports pages without seeing his name pop up for stupid. Where was all the stupid stuff?
It was just held together, man. They held it together.
Where
somehow.
was the off field? They just. I just don't. I don't know. I think he got worse over time. I think he's impossible. I think he's an impossible guy to cover up his crazy.
But somehow they did. But hopefully, just I'm not too worried about Deontay's personal foul. Do you ever recall him doing something like that for the most part? Pickens, last year he had a couple instances. This year he's had a couple. He's the one you want to keep him in check because he's the next one that he could blow up at any moment and cost the team. He's great talent, but sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him. He reminds me of Evgeny Malkin.
We see this all the time with
Malkin. What?
I wasn't paying attention. Who are you talking about?
George Pickens. His temper, the way he can act up and do those taunts. He reminds me of Evgeny Malkin. Things would be going so well. You make something great, and then you just snap. Malkin will take stupid penalties. Pickens takes stupid penalties. All this talent in the world, they feed off emotion to help their game, and then boom, you're tending to do something stupid. He kind of reminds me of Malkin in that way, where if you can just channel that energy, you're going to be golden.
Let's jump to the other side of the ball.
Be a little,
I'm gonna blow some smoke up your guys' ass. So you just relax for a minute.
Poor Derby.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. All right. PZ Island. Here we go. Joey Porter Jr. against Puka Nacua. 3 targets. Some sites report 3 targets. Some sites report 5 targets. But nonetheless, there was 0 receptions allowed. That's the big number here. That's the huge one. 0. Let's see. No catches allowed. No yards allowed. His passer rating, listen, Porter has allowed 1 catch. And listen, he had 1 catch. He's given up 1 catch in the 6 games that he's played in, Mike.
It's not bad.
He had, in this game, I'm sorry, I jumped off because I seen this. So he has 39.6 passer rating allowed, which is amazing. He had a pass breakup in this game, 0 yards allowed, 0 catches allowed against Puka Nacua, who is blowing the roof off the league with his catches. He's up there. I think he's the best amongst rookies. He's up there greatly in the league. Puka Nacua, no catches against Porter Jr. on Sunday, no yards. Unbelievable.
So
Joey Porter, Mike,
what you just read,
catch. What's that?
What you just read, it earned him a 70.6 coverage grade.
It should be, what the hell's a 70.6? He hasn't given anything up at all. He should be 100.6.
70.6 in coverage. 0 catches. Yeah.
You know what? TJ Watts is 92.9. You mean to tell me that this guy who hasn't given up a single catch, 1 catch in 6 games?
Yeah, his coverage for that game alone, just against the Rams, was a 70.6. Overall, an 82.2. So please tell me how great PFF is. They haven't given up 1 reception on 10 targets.
Our national media behind the PFF. I want to know.
It's Chris Collinsworth.
Oh.
He started it, and these people that watch it, they have no idea what they're talking about for the most part. It is just comical.
You know what's comical? Steeler freaks at rectal. He said, I'm already dying of rectal cancer. I like this. I don't know. Anytime I see the word rectal at noon,
it excites you. Okay, hey man, we don't judge here. It's a safe space.
Let's see. But as I said, PZ Island, 3 targets this past week, 0 catches allowed, 0 yards allowed, 1 pass breakup, 39.6 passes, pass rating allowed, only allowed 1 catch in 6 games. I don't know. Say what you want about this kid not being ready. Yes, he does need to work on his tackling, but again, there's plenty of other people on this team that need to work on things as well. So there's no reason that Joey Porter Jr., who is going to be one of the 2 cornerbacks of the future of this team, Get him in there, let him play, let him fail, let him do what he needs to do because it's ultimately he's part of the big plan on this football team. That's not going to change unless his name changes sometimes over the next 15 years, which I don't think that's going to happen. Joey Porter is going to be here for quite some time. Get used to it. Let the kid play.
I just had a thought pop into my head. Let me spitball this by.
Has something to do with rectum, doesn't it?
No, we'll talk off air about that. But no, so we're talking about how Porter needs work on tackling. Broderick Jones needs some footwork issues. He tends to hands. And do you think the Steelers thought by taking these guys that the team would struggle this year, and then that they would be able to put these guys in and just play them as rookies and go with and deal with their in a
perfect world, that would have been
and
nice.
We're going to lose, but it's okay because these guys are going to grow. But we started to string wins together. We're 4-2. That the team is now like, oh shit, we really don't want to put these guys in here and jeopardize the winning. Do you think that may have crossed their mind that, hey, they thought this would be the year we take a step back record wise, but we'll get these young guys in. We got a damn good draft class, but we'll let them go out. Like you said, take their bumps, bruises, learn on the job. But then we saw, hey, we're starting to win games. Let's just keep, Dan Moore in. Let's keep Levi in.
Well, of course. I mean, we're, as I mentioned, we're 4-2. We're only a half game out of first place. I don't think you want to change much. You're going to go with what works.
But I'm wondering if like the Steelers thought, you know what, we know these guys need some seasoning. They're going to be good. We're going to start some of these guys that we have now. The team might suck, start to lose. Then we'll put these guys in. We'll play it out, get a higher draft pick. But now we're winning. It's like, okay, we're not going to really be playing Broderick anymore. We're going to Peasy's showing out that, okay, he can't cover but can't tackle, so we'll sprinkle him in here and there. I just wonder if they thought popped into my head, like, I bet they thought this team was going to suck and they'd be able to play these guys and they could work it out, but now they really can't and they don't want to change it up too much.
I don't know.
It was thought. This is why I don't bring up unformed thoughts on the air.
I got two quotes I want to talk about before we move on. Again, we have 8 minutes left in the show. 2 quotes. Big Ben says yesterday, no praise for Canada. We played a good game offensively. Yeah. So now every single time there's a good play, we should all jump up and clap and praise Canada. Oh my gosh, that was a good play, a good drive, a good game. No, look at the numbers for the past 3.5 seasons or however long he's here. He has to, like this team, do consistently well. He has to string together good games of calling. You can't listen. If somebody at your workplace fucks up for 5 years in a row, and then they come into work one day and they have the best day working ever, do you praise him? No,
I do. I do.
Listen, this is what I do. I say every day, if you continue to do this, then you will get that praise, because here's what happens with people like this. He's going to go back and do the same thing, and you're going to look like a jackass for praising the guy, and people just know. I say, no, it's crazy. I say he has to string together more than what we've done. I say that we have to be better than 4-2. I say that it has to be better before we start praising Matt Canada. Are people overdoing it with the signs? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I like the signs. But the thing is this, do we praise? I don't know if we praise Matt Canada at this point.
Just at least recognize, like, hey, he called a good game. And that should be the bare minimum. Like, you know what? Like, I'm not the biggest Kenny guy, but, when he balls out and plays well, hell yeah, tip the cap. That's what I want from you. And when you do it,
again, you still know he consistently needs to do it more consistent to be to where you're happy with him. I know that I'm not happy with Kenny. Kenny needs to be more consistent. And guess what? Kenny's somebody that I like a lot. So I'm not going to praise Matt Canada. Okay, we won a game. Let's do this. Let's win some games. Let's improve offensively. Let's see this on an everyday basis. Let's see this team put 2 drives together in a row where we could score points at any given point. Besides this being the first time this season, things have to change before I begin to praise Canada. Should fans lighten up? I don't know. I don't know yet.
I don't know.
It's determined. It's still determined. I say after you play these next 4 games, you're going to get a good idea. And I think I already have a good idea. But I think just to be fair, give it 4 games, see where we're at the end of these 4 winnable games, and then we can start talking about praising people.
The Steelers freak. That last comment, kind of hit a little too close to home. I don't get when it to the refrigerators on the way back. The other quote is,
the fat overlord in Pittsburgh, was saying, I'm not sure if the better team won this week. You know what? The better team won. And here's why. Because they're in first place. They're 4-2. Your team, this other team isn't. This team has a worse record, which means they're not better than this team. This guy, he's the biggest troll, and I stopped even paying attention. Every once in a while, I catch one of these comments on Twitter, and I write it down because he's so ridiculous. Again, the fat overlord troll in Pittsburgh says, I'm not sure the better team won on Sunday. I don't even understand what that means. So do what you want with that, people, because I know a lot of people like him. Mike, let's move on. We have to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're back in action tonight. They're hosting the Dallas Stars. This game starts at 6:30 tonight, Mike. They are on a 2-game losing streak. Is it more? 3-game losing streak?
2 games.
2 games. So they're looking to get back in the win column tonight against the Dallas Stars. Everybody, Pittsburgh Penguins, 6:30 tonight.
This team needs to figure it out, because right now, yes, it's still early, but how long are we going to keep saying it's still early in the season when we're seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again from the Steelers on ice? Mike Tomlin, Sullivan, that's what we're going to start calling both coaches. Mike Sullivan, Mike Tomlin, Sullivan. They're the same coach. They both listen to them talk to the media. They each have their own catchphrases that they sneak in. And they're too stubborn. They don't want to change the way they coach and play. And then, they don't want to. They both don't want to play young players.
You won a lot. You've been successful with what you do.
I know, but
and people know that you have to adjust, and you have to, But again, with most things, when you find a recipe that works, it's hard to come from that, especially if that defined you as a player, if that defined you as a coach, if that defines you as a franchise. Pittsburgh Steelers, great example. It's hard to change.
Because God forbid in Pittsburgh you're allowed to throw for 300 yards a game,
which Ben did for 20 years and was
he did.
Fine,
but still, like when we lose though from it, it's like, what are you doing? You're Pittsburgh, run the ball. And it's like the Penguins under Sullivan. Why play defense? Just have every defenseman activate when you're up 3-2. Next thing you know, you're down 5-3. I love my Penguins, and I'm just frustrated.
College football, chances to make the playoffs, Mike. Of course, these 2 teams I'm going to mention, they played each other this past weekend. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they have a 74% chance to get into the college playoffs. Penn State has a 17% chance. Both of these teams still have Michigan. What if Michigan beats Ohio State? What if Penn State beats Michigan?
I can see Michigan sweeping both teams. Michigan.
Let's just say it happens that way. Then Penn State's a favorite. It'll come down to Ohio State will probably end up getting the higher number just because that's what they do. But realistically,
I don't know how that will. If that's who all the losses are to, I don't know how that's going to affect the big. Who's going to come out of that?
Let's say it happens like this. Let's say for Michigan beats Ohio State. Penn State upsets Michigan. You got to have Penn State right up in there. You got to. I'm not a Penn State fan, but I'm saying in this situation, you'd have to consider it because it wasn't like Penn State got blew out by Ohio State.
Yeah.
If it was 53-7, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So 17% chance getting into the playoffs.
I think next year's our year when they expand the playoffs. That's when we're getting in.
All right. Penn State should do well when they expand. I agree because they're always right outside that bubble.
I guarantee we will take a step back and still be right outside.
Yeah,
you're right, Steelers freak. The amount of holding calls that were not called, it was bad throughout the NFL all year. The officiating has been bad, and they do need a referee academy. These guys have jobs elsewhere. This is a
2 minutes left in the show. Texas Rangers, Mike, they go to the World Series. They beat the Houston Astros yesterday 11-4. They're on their way to the World Series. They're going to play the winner of the Arizona Cardinals and Philadelphia Phillies, who play Game 7 of their series tonight at 8:07. This game will produce the other World Series team. The Texas Rangers. That's a lot of Texas in the American League playoffs. The Rangers and the in Houston. But anyway, Texans win 11-4. They get in. Texas Rangers, and they will be playing again the winner of Arizona and Phillies winner tonight. If you are at all interested in this stuff, Mike, go ahead and tell everybody about the website, brother.
The2dumbyinjures.com. Head on over there with everything that you need. All of our links for socials. There are merch stores there. The blog is there. The2dumbyinjures.com, baby.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinjures.com. That is www.the2dumbyinjures.com. Mike, this is a Jacksonville Jaguars play. This is who we play this week. So all of our trivia questions will be Jacksonville Jaguars. Are you ready for the question of the day?
I'm ready. I'm ready for some Jacksonville Jags.
I really picked this one because I thought Derpy was going to be on, because I didn't think he would get it. I thought you would get it, but here we go. You ready?
Can I have choices?
And I wrote down the choices. So here we go. Who was the first coach, Mike? Who was the first coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? If you'd like choices, I'll certainly give them to you. Take a moment to think it over. We are live all week long, everybody, Monday through Friday, every single week, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here. And if you missed this show, or you just rather listen to the show that we do live every day gets uploaded over on Spotify. Go check it out. 8 o'clock. I'm sorry. It comes up at 8 o'clock p.m. Check it out. All right, Mike. Jacksonville Jaguar question of the day. Here we go. Who was the first coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Do you want to take a stab at it?
Tom Coughlin.
Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, Tom Coughlin. Is that your final pick?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Final answer, baby.
All right. I gotta work the final answer button. I haven't done that in a couple of days.
True.
All right. Here were the choices.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Mike Mularkey. Mel Tucker, and Jack Del Rio, which is,
he coached them at one point.
He might have picked that.
Yeah.
But you say, Mike, you say Tom Coughlin. Got you locked in. That is your final answer, of course.
Locked in, baby.
Correct answer is Tom Coughlin. He was a hell of a coach for Jacksonville, man. He gave us a run for our money in our division.
Oh, he did too, man. He built that team.
Absolutely.
Tony Baselli.
Oh, Baselli was a beast.
He was a beast.
McDonald's, even in the local area, I think they named a burger after him because he was such a beast down there.
He was one of the best offensive linemen I've ever seen play.
Mike, anything before we get ready to take off, brother?
Still a lot of football left, but enjoy the wins as they come.
There you go.
I channeled Derpy on that one. My God, I feel fucking dirty.
Channel Jenner Derpy. What do I have? Mike, you lost again last night. I don't know. Whatever I said you were, 5-7.
5-7. 5-8.
You were 5-8 this week. Maybe, just maybe Derpy will get back in it next week.
I'm thinking about putting some skin in the game. From here on out, putting a buck on every single game.
And there you go. Make it interesting.
Yeah, make it interesting.
You can make your losing even more interesting than it is now.
Hey, dude, real quick though, I did win 11 cents betting on an Israeli basketball league game.
An Israeli basketball game?
Yeah.
Was it? What was this bet that they went and all get gunned down halfway through the game, or?
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, I won 11 cents, man.
I
was like, that was my second biggest earner from last weekend's gambling.
You're killing, my man.
Oh yeah, I'm breaking in the dough.
We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you greatly. Everyone on the board, we want to say we appreciate you. You guys been coming hard lately. We love it. Mike, anything else?
I got nothing. Let's go Pens.
All right, Penguins tonight. Don't forget to check them out. This game starts at 6:30 against Dallas. Everybody, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Yeah, thank you, Steeler Freak. Always, my man. That it, Mike?
That's it.
All right, for the two dumb Yinzers, Mike, myself, everyone have a great day. We'll see